Sure. Well, maybe the first step is to, because we're going to be talking about the server design. So maybe let's start with just getting your compiler starting to download because it's like 100 megs, so it might
Okay,
take a little bit.
sure.
So go to golang.org.
Okay. Of course, now I'm streaming and uploading a video, so we might be dealing with a slow. I wonder how far it is. It should end here sort of soon. Okay, and I'm guessing I'm looking for a download.
Um, yeah, so download Go will be the one, and then you just choose package, um, the package that works for you, basically. So
I clicked
if you're
on
on Linux,
package. There was no download, but there's a packages.
so if you go back to the
Oh,
first
I
page,
see
there's
it. I
just
see that.
underneath there's download Go.
Yep.
Packages is like where the documentation for all the packages are.
Okay. All right. So Linux. There we go. All
Yeah, so
right.
just choose
Yep.
yeah, whichever one works
It
for you.
yeah. It just started automatically. So that'll be
Okay.
that'll be done in just looks like about 20 seconds or so.
Okay. Do you want to talk design of the server or like what do you want to do first, I guess?
Yeah, we can sort of do them both as we go. So the way I see it, the first, I guess where I would imagine that we start for the server is just getting it to pick up events from the getting it to pick up events from the contract, which sort of relies on our contract being finished.
Mhm.
But I guess yeah, I mean I guess I see the server just like listening and waiting for new offers and then adding, keeping a list of those offers and wait and then iterating through that list every, 10 seconds or something and looking for events and then
Yeah.
and then just notifying, different people depending on, it'll notify people either when certain events happen or when a new offer is created. And then the only sort of the only I guess the biggest piece of logic there is just sort of iterating through all of the people that have signed up for notifications and determining whether to send a notification to a specific user based on what they've signed up to hear about, for different banks and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that functionality could all just be like in one function where you just call like for a given user and a given event, you
Hmm.
just call it and
Oh yeah.
it'll have all the business logic inside of it. And so then when you run your events server, you basically just send that call off. You can run it in a separate Go routine, like it goes concurrently,
Oh
and
okay.
then server just kind of keeps listening to whatever else it needs to listen to.
Okay.
Um, so the listening, there's a couple different ways that we can do it. It sort of depends on how expensive it is to run a light node.
Uh huh.
Um, we can sort of rely on Infura if we want.
Right.
But the only problem with that is you can't uh, to be able to actually like listen like when's the next block coming.
Hmm.
You actually need WebSockets, and Infura doesn't provide WebSockets.
Mm.
If you just do like a regular HTML or HTTP connection, it doesn't allow that listening or that subscription contract or that subscription
To the
to like new
to the
blocks or
contract.
new
Okay.
events or whatever.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So the way I would see going around that is you just build in some logic that checks once every minute or so,
Hmm.
check for new blocks, and then you process all the blocks that have come through.
Right.
Um,
And processing those
and
blocks, you sort of worked out a lot of that, how that works, right? I mean, you a little bit of an old
yeah,
hand at actually taking the block data and actually getting the useful stuff out of it.
yeah, and I might even try to like refactor that into like its own package so that anybody can come and just grab that package and use it.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay.
because then it's really simple to like, okay, I need something that listens, that connects to a very specific node, and it can't do a WebSocket, but I want it to listen for new blocks or something, and I want it to pull it once a minute or once every 5 minutes or whatever you end up doing, right?
Right.
Depending on your case, it could be okay. Once a night, I needed to pull all the blocks that came in and just pull all the blocks one at a time, maybe throttled or something, just so that you aren't like overwhelming that node.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so like kind of add features like that in and stuff. And so I'll see if I can get the basics set up in a package, and then we'll be able to use that to like build out the server basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
That sounds cool. Yeah. So we might be able to. What I'm hearing is we might be able to build sort of a more generally usable sort of we'll take the core functionality here, which is sort of just to listen for. Well, you're saying the core of what we're building, we could actually sort of offer out to its, have it be its own utility that we could sort of offer to the community.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah, it's like an open source package, Go package that anybody can come and use.
Okay.
And actually, I think there's a couple parts of this that are going to end up being sort of like that. So that's the polling for the new events that can't be through WebSocket. That would be one.
Yeah, that would
And
be.
also
Sorry, say
um,
again.
and the login part of it. I think we were talking on the Slack channel last night about being able to log in both um, with your like a username password, and then also being able to do that with your like signing a message
Right.
with your private key, so that when I get the message on the server side, I don't need like it's not going to be the private key. It's just going to like I'll be able to do the public verification of it and confirm that yes, this is the person who has that private key, and then confirm like with your password and username that you've passed that. So there's a bunch of authentication packages I've found in Go, but they all do like just password, username, password, and that's it.
Oh, I see.
So
Right. And so you're
that's
saying
where
since
I'm.
since our system is going to be so heavily relying on the smart contract, and the smart contract is just tracking public addresses, it would sort of make sense if we could make our login stuff for the server also based on that signature type stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then I could even make that like its own special interface so that, so for example, a project that I'm helping out with, and partly why I've been so busy the last week or two, um, we want to be able to to have a site that you can sign in sort of like that, like you use your private key, but
Oh.
it also checks that you have a certain coin or something, so that like it's like a local group that's using a coin, and we want to be able to use that as like a way to get
Oh,
like
okay.
access to a certain part, sort of thing.
That's cool.
Um,
That actually adds
so
utility to a coin, which is always good.
yeah, exactly. So and like this is mostly for like a meetup group, so it kind of makes sense that it's like we just want to have stuff that okay, people who have this local coin, it's not some big like huge thing, but it's yeah, it's just something that we're kind of trading around with ourselves,
Okay.
and be able to use that to kind of authenticate it and limit the scope to exactly who has the coin, sort of thing. So
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that could be useful too for our thing. So that's cool. And it seems
Yeah,
like Go is pretty good at sort of compartmentalizing and generating tiny little packages that can be used.
yeah, it's pretty good at that, and but you do need to kind of think a little differently in terms of um, like most of the time people think in terms of like object oriented and
Hmm.
classes and not like hierarchies and like all these big long type things.
Yeah.
And with Go, it tends to be with interfaces. So like, and because they're implicitly satisfied, like if I build an authentication interface,
Mm-hmm.
anybody can come and substitute that with their own authenticator. So um, you can substitute it, like instead of having just like a login like a username password that you use on it, you just substitute it with a username password and private key, or username password private key and coin thing, or whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You could kind of substitute your own thing in there.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so that's certainly, yeah, it's certainly possible to kind of mix and match different things and kind of make it more general.
Mm-hmm.
So um, and it's easy to refactor it even after the fact, because like once you've got the function signatures set up, you just kind of like go, okay, well, this is an interface here, I'll call this, and that's good. So
Right. Right.
yeah,
Okay, so I
I
got
see.
the yeah, you can probably look it now, but I got the package downloaded. I got I don't know if I was supposed to get I could try to get a Debian package, although I don't know what or is this what you're expecting to see here?
Let's see.
So I downloaded the file, I unzipped it, and I got a folder full of a bunch of stuff. Doc, package, source, bin, lib.
Yeah, I would. Oh, you're in package. That's strange.
Well, I list pack. I mean, I'm here in Go, and then I just
Oh,
listed
okay, I
the
see.
package. But I could, I mean, on Ubuntu, you can often just install, like Ubuntu Go setup. I might just,
It might work. I'm not sure. Um, Actually, I might. If you go back to the,
you can do that on
I'm used to
Golang.
doing it on Windows where I have to kind of like manually extract it and
Uh huh.
different stuff like that.
So here, you want to go back to the downloads page?
Not the downloads. Just go to the Go main page,
Uh huh. Yep.
and then go to Documents at the top
Okay.
and Getting Started.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And this kind of describes like the best way to do it for um, each OS, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like an OS installer, a Windows installer, like, and I've had to do it on Ubuntu for like the servers a few times, and I tend to just use like the tar extract, although
Mm-hmm.
that should be the same.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So it's saying, so I untarred it. Choose the archive appropriate for my installation. I guess I'll look into packages again. Um, Link race tool. I mean, I guess I'm just going to do Linux AMD 64. I don't know why I'd need the other ones or when I wouldn't need them.
yeah. Oh, that might be why, because you just use like a general Linux one. Is that what it was?
Well, when I went to the downloads page, there just seemed to be one Linux one. Let me go back and look. I didn't seem like I had to make any hard decisions.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you scroll down, it.
let's see. I just clicked on the top one here, Linux here, which was a general one. I guess I could probably find it. Let's see. Linux.
I think that should be okay. Like
Yeah.
as long as you have a 64-bit processor, you've got
Yeah.
AMD.
Okay.
I think that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so once you've got it unzipped, I don't think you really need to do much more besides like set the path variables.
Okay.
So usually it's the go bin path needs to be in your environment variables, so that when you type go, it automatically finds the command.
Okay. Now, do I? Well, it says to choose the archive file. Oh, I already did that because I downloaded the file. Okay, I was getting confused. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I see now. Export.
yeah, and if you want to put it into your like your profile or whatnot, like something like some kind of script that automatically adds this to the path variable,
Oh,
you
right. Because this will just work once. Yeah.
Yeah, uh, I tend to put it in the profile,
Mm-hmm.
but then you need to restart that version of Linux. So you still kind of need to do it once, if unless you set up the path scripts and then restart your computer. Um, you kind of need to run it once anyway. So
Right. So I still need to run this command. You're saying,
yeah,
but let's see. How do I get it to run automatically? Is that have to do with a bash RC?
yeah, Bash RC works or
Okay.
dot profile or
Oh yeah.
there's a couple different ones I think.
Yeah. Okay. So I would just need to add this in here then. I think shouldn't be any more complicated than that.
I'm almost always doing this on like a server,
Oh yeah.
so I always like rely on like Vim or something that's not GUI based because I tend to just use the command prompt.
Mm.
But I follow the Vim subreddit, and it's like nuts how much people can like customize it and add to it and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard, and I'm convinced that Vim would be good for me to get used to, and I still don't do it.
I know like two or three basic commands, and then after that, it's like no idea what's going on here. I'm just gonna like slowly do everything with the things I know, and that's it.
Mm.
Anything more complicated for now, it's fine.
Okay, I actually need to move this archive because it's just in my downloads now.
Okay.
Let's see. Every time I'm streaming and I type in my password, I get like paranoid that some super hacker is gonna like be able to listen to how my keyboard typing sounds and be able to like extract my password from it. Okay.
Now you've given somebody like an idea.
Right now I've given them a puzzle, and I've given them like how many streams have I recorded? Like I could probably give them 20 samples now. Well, all right then. I guess that's how it is. Okay, so
I might change that password now.
yeah. All right, so okay, well, test the installation. I guess that's the next step here.
Yeah, you can type Go version, and it'll tell you if it located your
Yep.
Go
Okay,
bin.
that seemed to work. The Go version.
Okay.
Then it wants me
Um,
to make a workspace, which I can do, and then it wants me to. I'll just keep going on this unless you got a better idea for the testing.
there are a couple more things you do want to add, um, like a Go route and a Go path.
Okay.
So these don't seem to be history installation. Yeah, they don't really talk about these a lot here.
Oh, Go route must be set only when installing to a custom location. Oh, here's it's okay. This it seems like maybe what you're talking about has to do with installing to a custom location, perhaps.
Possibly, but unless it's user local Go, then it's a custom location, right?
Right. I did.
So,
I did just put it in there. That would just seemed
oh,
to be
okay,
easier.
okay. So
Okay.
it should work.
Okay. Well, I'll just do this
And then,
quick script here just to see.
oh, you know what it is? Go path is when you start like building out your projects. It keeps like your libraries and stuff organized there.
Hmm.
So uh, I would add a Go path variable once you like. If you just create one file,
Uh huh.
you can like do the installation and run it with one file with the Go tool, and it'll work. But if you start like trying to use like a library that has like you want to import from GitHub or something like that, you're going to need a Go path at that point.
Okay, gotcha. Hey, it worked. All right, everything seems to work. That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah, that wasn't so painful. It's funny. Like Go is so, I don't want to say esoteric, but it's clearly a it's highly opinionated, I guess, is a good way to put it. And
Yeah.
so I'm surprised whenever you can just start installing something and going. But I think part of that is I'm on Linux too. It'd probably be maybe more complicated if I was on Windows.
Uh, Maybe a little bit, but not as much as you'd think,
Hmm.
because like you're not like there's no version hell in the same sense that like with Python, like if you try to compile something that is expecting Python 3.2 and it's
Right.
3.5, like it could just mess with the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with Go, like you're sort of dependent on the Go compiler, but like the languages, they're really limiting what's changing,
Okay.
and usually additions. Like
Right.
for anything like under a major revision, it's minor changes to like we're adding this to the whatever package or something.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it tends to not be breaking. Um, but yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
They're because they're so opinionated, they're very stingy about what features get added,
Right. Right.
which means that generics isn't in there, and that's like the biggest complaint that everybody has. But
Mm.
um,
Well, and
it also makes it easy to know what's going to work.
right, and part of the hell with Python, I think, has to do with how, I mean, I'll say sloppy. I mean, I don't really want to be that disparaging. I do like Python, but for example, their print statement was effectively calling a function, but their syntax was weird for it for Python 2, and so then when you move to Python 3, it's like you got to rewrite all your things. So, with
Yeah.
Go being opinionated from the very beginning, that's good because they're going to be more consistent about stuff like that. But
Mhm.
anyway, okay, so what is next now? So Go seems to be working just fine. Is that what more setup would you suggest that we do, or is that sort of it? And should we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would create your workspace. So basically, a file or a folder that's outside of the Go installation.
Yep, I got that. I mean,
Um,
I have a Go file in my home directory anyway. It had me create that to make my little test program.
yeah, I'd create like a separate working directory
Mm-hmm.
that's outside of that, because then you can upgrade that when a new version comes out, and you can keep all your like working files or your libraries separate.
I mean, I think that's what I just did just now. I mean, there's just a Go. You mean just a place for my source code, right? Or
Yeah, yeah. So like I use Go Pro or like Go programming basically.
okay.
Um, that's just like my directory and like my documents or something.
Yeah, yeah, I got that here. I got one here.
Okay, I see what you got. So now you want to add that to you want to create an environment variable called Go path.
Okay. I'm actually not sure how to make environment variables. I'm a little bit of a Linux noob. Um,
You could follow the you know where it talks about creating the path.
yeah.
Um, or you know what? Look at the Go root.
Mm-hmm.
If you add export, or if you do export Go root or Go path instead of Go root,
Mm-hmm.
and then put the directory there, that'll work as well.
And I want GoPath to point to this workspace that I just made. That's what you're
Yeah,
saying? Okay.
yeah, and
So,
that's
okay.
basically got like one directory right now with like one file.
And now I'm exporting GoPath equal, okay, and into my directory here. Um, and sorry, what did you ask?
In that that folder right now, it's just got like one folder
Mm-hmm.
with like one main file or something.
Yeah, I think the way it's structured now is it's one folder with another folder called hello with another with that has the source file in it. Just my little example program,
Okay.
test program, um, and so I just do like that. Just export home/go the my main directory there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else here? I mean, I guess I'm still not sure at what point we start actually designing the server.
Yeah. So the next question I would just, uh, do you have Git installed on there?
Yep.
Yeah. You should be able to just do go get, and then put a package name. So
Okay.
we can actually get, let me just check up, or you know what, let's do go get event server.
Go get like that. Events, just two words. Go get events. And when you call the events server, is events plural or just event server?
Uh,
And actually, how's that?
oh,
Is there a hyphen? I'm actually just not sure how it's spelled in general.
I'm just going to type this in Slack
Yeah, that'll be best.
because I can see what you're typing, but it's like on the delay.
Totally different.
Okay, so this is
Ah,
what I would say.
yes. Ah, yes. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, man, it's you just were able to get that namespace, huh? That seems
Yeah.
okay.
Well, even this is kind of cool. Like the first time I saw this, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, no, that is still very cool.
And it downloads like all the packages that
Oh, that's
imports as well.
right. Yeah, you were saying that on the seminar you did. Yeah. Does it usually not output anything for a while?
Sometimes it could take a little while.
Hmm. And so just to add a little bit more context for anyone who will be watching this later or who is watching it now, wonder if we have any viewers, by the way. One viewer. Oh, that's probably just you though. Anyway,
Yeah.
so the event server is something that David and I worked on. Well, really, David worked on it, and I paid him to work on it. But anyway, it was to sort of do what we're talking about now. Although back then we were designing it to be sort of more general purpose, where it would sort of export this service of you could make just a regular HTTP call to it and request events for a specific address. And I think we even got it to the point where you could request any address for any contract, and it would the first time you called, it would tell you, okay, it's like loading it or it's caching it, and then you called it a few seconds later, and it would actually be able to return you those events. Do I have all that remembered correctly?
Yeah, basically, I think it took a little bit of time, but and it was assuming that there was a full node attached onto it.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Hmm.
Yeah, so that
So
you
if I just
probably
run
have
it now,
to.
that'll be one of the errors that we get is that I don't have a full node running here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And yeah, we were talking earlier about whether we want to run our own light node or use Infura. And yeah, you were saying that if we use Infura, we can't directly check for the events, but we can sort of just do an interval where we just manually go and we get the new blocks, get the data from the new blocks, and sort of sort through it ourselves.
Yeah.
And does this code that I'm getting right now, does this I guess it's assuming it has its own node. Does it actually get the block data and look into the block data, or is it using some of the like the higher level event fetching code?
Let me see. I think the way there's a couple different parts because I was doing some like testing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Yeah, I'll go open up the code here. But yeah, go on.
Yes. Actually, if you want to test it with Infura, you can just comment the server flag and uncomment the mainnet, and then you should be able to build it. Oh, you had to download the Go Ethereum codebase too. That's why it was so big.
Oh, okay. I wonder if it's.
Although, if you look in there
Oh,
right
it
now,
just
your
finished.
source
Yep.
files,
Sorry, say again.
if you look in your source files,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see GitHub /Ethereum /Go Ethereum and like all their source code.
GitHub.com. Oh, yeah.
Not .com, but like in your source files.
No, I know but it's under GitHub.com in my source files apparently.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's nice. That just fetched the whole Ethereum package for me. Go
yeah.
Geth. Yeah. Cool. Now I have a question for you. Is Go Ethereum the same as Geth? What's the relationship there? I mean, I know Geth stands for Go Ethereum, but
Yeah. So Geth is it's one of the commands from Go Ethereum. So if you go to
okay.
the Go Ethereum, sorry, I'm typing this as well. If you go to the source code or the GitHub page, and then you go command, there's a bunch of different commands in there. One of which is Geth, and so Geth is like the node. This is what builds into like the full node,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever node you want to run, and then you can configure it. You can do all the stuff that you can find, like all the tutorials about like how to run a Geth node. It's basically building that main file or main package, and that's building out the exe command using all the rest of the code from the Go Ethereum package.
Okay.
So that's kind of the relationship, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. So like ABI gen, that's a command that you use to generate a Go source file that will call a specific ABI and will format it and like will return the correct events and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So where am I? I got so I got that downloaded. Okay. And you were saying that if I now go into, the source code and comment out that line.
Yeah.
I guess I want to open this up in my text editor. So that's going to be in main.go. All right. So, okay. So you're saying if I uncomment this line that connects to Infura and then recomment or comment out the other one. So now this should go. And what am I expecting to see now when I run this? I don't think I've ever actually run this myself. I've just tried out the endpoints that you've created for me.
Yeah. So
I guess first I gotta build it, right?
yeah. Is your text editor set up to run like a Go environment?
I don't think so. I mean, not that I know of.
Okay. So if you basically you would go into the main like event server folder on a command prompt,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you do go build, it should just build it all and create a.
I get some errors here.
Okay.
Invalid indirect of server. Type string.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, it looks like the line I uncommented out is structured a little differently. The one I
Yeah,
commented.
it's a pointer, I think.
So should I just
So
try to copy that other one? like that?
If you,
Hmm.
I guess there's a couple different ways you could do it. You could copy the mainnet into the line above it, or you could create a variable, like a pointer variable um, from the server,
Hmm. I will.
and
I'll just copy this line and just for now. Whoops.
just the string into the other one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that'll work.
Okay. Let's try that. Okay, there we go. So that didn't give me any errors. So that seems good.
Okay, so that should have built an executable.
And that'll be back in my bin.
It should be in the same folder, actually, I think.
Oh, okay.
So, like, if you're running the command, I think go build builds it directly there. Um, if you do go install, it builds it in the bin folder under your go path.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a green events server. I guess that is the executable.
Yeah.
Panic. Oh,
Panic. Okay.
error opening directory logs. Okay, well, I just need to make a logs directory, I guess.
Yeah.
Seems like
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Because that was I was just storing the logs in like a text file, I think.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm running it now. So header subscription fail, notifications not supported, and events
Okay.
not updating.
Let's see.
And we can stop at any time because we still haven't really talked about how much you're going to do the server and how much I'm going to do it. I mean, I definitely want to be involved, especially now that I have the Go stuff going. I would like to learn Go as well. So, but so I guess just keep that in mind that at any point we can stop this and then sort of start splitting up the work and figure out who's going to do what.
Sure. I just wouldn't mind getting something running so you could see it running on your
Okay.
side.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Sure.
um, so I'm just trying to like modify little things just to get it going.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
and I guess that'll make this video good content too, because people could sort of go along and get their own event server running as
yeah.
well.
Yeah. And I can explain exactly what's going on. So like
Right.
the subscription error that you're getting right now,
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what I was talking about before, where because um, because the inferior node won't accept a WebSocket connection
Oh, right.
when you try to sign up for that listener,
Mm-hmm.
it basically panics and says, "I can't do this."
Well,
Um,
I actually wonder. I think my Quick Node still has some credit, so I wonder if I could just connect to the Quick Node.
if it accepts a WebSocket, it could.
It does. So let me just see, because that'd be kind of a. I'm at least curious to see if it works. So go down to developer tools. I think I'm going to stop paying for QuickNode. They're just too much of a pain these days. But I
Mhm.
still have some service until I think in a couple days it'll run out. Anyway, so okay, I have an HTTP auth option and a token auth option. I guess it looks like our code here is taking an HTTP address, so I'll just take that HTTP. Oh, well, and it's also saying to use my email. Oh, no, wait. I want to do the token auth because that's actually embedded into the HTTP call.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I think the WSS that's what defines as the WebSocket. So I think it should automatically just make that work.
Okay. Let's see how it goes. I'll drag this over here and go build. Where'd it go? I could just type it in, but anyway. And then event server. Okay, well, it's thinking longer, so that's I would say a good sign.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going. What are the outputs right now?
No outputs. I called the program and it's thinking.
Thinking.
Would there be
Um,
endpoints that I could go look at on localhost or?
yeah, I'm just trying to remember. Go to localhost 8080.
Okay.
I should have made that configurable. I'm surprised I didn't.
405 page not found. That's just one colon, right? Localhost or two colons. Nope.
I think it's just one colon.
No, that didn't work.
Um, hmm.
I might need to configure Apache to listen for that node. I know Apache is running.
Oh, is it maybe conflicting with that? Something seems weird about the way it's running. It normally has some output.
Hmm. It could be
Um,
conflicting with Apache. I mean, I know Apache is running, so I could try just turning it off.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now I need to remember how to do that.
When you did the 8080, did it give any output on the command prompt?
No, it did not.
No. Yeah, that definitely sounds weird.
Okay, I've stopped the service and running it again. Still is not outputting anything. It just seems stuck there.
I almost wish I was using like an earlier version of this,
Oh yeah.
just so that it wasn't taking all this complexity.
Hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, I might just suggest trying to cut out some of the extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to figure out what I need to cut out. Okay, so um, okay, I think I've got it. So go to the very bottom of that file,
Mm-hmm.
and under hmm, comment out the if loop. So
Okay.
just show the address, transaction, block, and sync. Get those all out of the if loop.
Oh wait a minute. Hold on. Say that again. I comment. There's a if block. I commented all that out. But is that what you said to do?
Uh, just the loop itself. So I want the code inside.
Oh,
I
I
don't want
see.
you to have to deal with like sending the flag and stuff.
Okay.
You could,
Oh,
if you
whoops.
do server mode testing when you run it,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of runs. If you read
Dang it.
the read, it kind of explains that. But uh, this way, you just don't have to worry about it.
Okay. All right.
And then comment out the so the Go file manager
Mm-hmm.
and sub listener. That's an example of Go routines, by the way.
Okay.
So that's how you would do concurrency,
Uh-huh.
and then you see how there's channels. That's like how I communicate back and forth, basically.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah.
So it's a good example, but for now, let's just throw it away and just
Comment both of
comment it
those
out.
out. Both of the go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then last thing, comment out the last two block events and events.
Okay. Leaving the very last line on uncommented. Listen and serve. I
Yes.
see. Okay. All right. And build it then and give it a shot.
Yeah.
Okay. still is gives me just nothing, no output at all.
Maybe try going back to the Infura node at this point.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm almost wondering if it's hanging on the connection to the quick node.
Yeah, it could be. And I lost the I guess it's just mainnet.infura dot something. I'm just going to control Z a bunch till I get there. Okay. Right, let's try this again. Go build. Server read it. Oh, I need to comment something else out.
It's kind of fun that you can figure out the errors and I don't even have to say a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, still the same. So I'm running it and no output at all. And I'm connecting to Infura.
Do you want to try a different one? Or a different package?
What do you mean, a different package?
Oh,
like
just to
running
get
something else.
running for you.
Gotcha. Well, I did get my little test program to run, but yeah, I could try something else, whatever you want me to do.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there's one that is actually kind of cool.
Okay.
And it'll help you. And we could probably, yeah, it's pretty easy to figure out. So
okay, sure.
Let me just find it. Okay, I'll send the link here.
Oops.
So just do a go get on that.
Okay.
And build it, and you should be able to run it right away. I don't think you need any flags. I'm just going to check over the code.
Okay, it seemed to work. It gave me a... I'm not sure if it's an error or a warning, but it said imported and not used flag. Should I worry about that, or...
Imported and not used. Did it give you an error?
Well, it's not really telling me if it's an error.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so that's weird that that's a problem. Okay. So you would take the when you have like an import at the top of the file, you have to use it. So if it doesn't use it, then it throws up a problem.
Okay.
So just uncomment flag. I must have deleted a line and checked it in without actually testing it. My bad.
It doesn't even seem that I downloaded it, or there's... Oh wait, no, never mind. Never mind. Here it is. Okay. And so I want to go to chainlink.go, and then what you were saying, comment out what?
The import of flag. So like under imports, you've got flag right at the bottom.
Cool. Well, I don't need to go get it again. So that I'm curious why that gave me the error even just when I did go get. Does that automatically try to build it too, or? It
might, unless it was something else was. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what was going on there.
Huh. Well, anyway, so I'll just go into that directory now and.
Yeah, it might actually build it like just to check. The compile for Go is really fast. So like it might just be built into the tooling. Like, okay, run the compile test.
Right.
And check.
Okay, we'll go build worked without any errors. So now I'll just run the executable here. Same thing. It's just sitting there without outputting anything.
That is weird. That is really weird. Should be. Yeah, you know, it might be Apache. Like, is Apache still running?
No, I turned it off.
You turned it off?
Yeah.
What the heck?
I could also try restarting. I mean, I did just install.
This one might not have anything in it. So maybe just go to localhost 8080 and that might work.
Okay.
Like the other one, I was expecting some, like there was something wrong there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is serving a page now.
That's serving a page?
Yep. Add new block. Work to be logged. Add block. Yeah.
This is my very own little blockchain.
Ah, nice. Oh, that's yeah. I think you were telling me a little bit about this. So this is this an Ethereum blockchain?
No, this is like totally from scratch.
Totally home brewed. So this work.
Yeah.
I'm just yeah. I'm curious about this. So work to be logged minutes. I'm just gonna do it. See what happens. Block added with 8 minutes. Add another one with 87,000 minutes. View blockchain. Okay.
Yeah, like it doesn't even have any persistence.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't
It doesn't actually save the blockchain. You're saying
yeah.
like there is a
So
blockchain, but it'll just be forgotten.
yeah, as soon as you shut down the program, the
Uh-huh.
memory gets released and it's gone.
Okay.
So it's really just it was just me trying to like play around with blockchains.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can look at the code and it's kind of fun because
Okay.
it's
So
pretty simple.
I'm guessing it is an actual chain of blocks. So I see there's a block hash, and
Yeah,
the difficulty is 4, and of course I see 4 zeros. Huh.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I'm using the crypto functions within the standard library of Go.
Yeah.
Like I'm not using any imports other than the standard library. And basically it's just creating a block, it's mining it. There's no connection, like it's just a single node, like there's no other connections to
No
node.
peers or peer. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so nothing, like it was just getting a blockchain running and like just building stuff to it sort of thing.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Cool. Well, so that worked, but when I ran my other one, it did not work.
Yeah, I think it was just the way I didn't have the changes working correctly on the other one.
Oh,
Um,
like we might have been trying to run a version in the middle of development. You're saying, sort of.
well, maybe not in the middle of development, but there might have been like a dependency. I built a dependency into the other parts that wasn't allowing it to run or was freezing it at some point or something
Hmm.
like that.
Okay.
So I think there was like a couple little problems to it, basically.
Hmm.
But this one, I knew it had been done, and I hadn't really played around with it, so
Right.
or I didn't think I'd played around with it all that much, but
Well, yeah.
so I figured it was pretty straightforward to get it running. So that's why I was figuring this one.
Okay.
um, the nice part about this one actually is it does show you. So one of the first things I think you're going to want is also being able to serve the interface files, like the Web3 interface files.
Mm-hmm.
So um, this is pretty close to being able to do that. Like it's already serving some HTML files.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you go down to the bottom, it's showing kind of like how the HTTP handle func is creating the handler for like add blocks or chain data.
Yeah.
And all you really need to do is add like a couple a couple handlers for like to serve the the JavaScript and the CSS files.
Yeah. Execute template. Oh, and I see there's an index.go HTML. Ooh, so I'll just go take a look at that.
Yeah.
Templates. So what makes this a Go HTML? I mean, as opposed to an HTML? Or what does that
I
give you?
think it's basically the same as Go HTML. Like I could have just used HTML
Mm-hmm.
and then added the template in. But I've seen other projects use Go HTML, so I just kind of use that.
Okay.
I copied that
Yeah.
version to say just so that people weren't confused when they were looking at the source that this was like proper HTML or
Okay.
um, although it might still be proper HTML, but
Okay.
um, yeah. But basically, when it goes through the template, it just adds in like if there's any if there's any variables that it wants to add in for like when you're doing the blockchain display
Mm-hmm.
or the chain data display, it's got like template variables, like you're saying, that it fills in the full blockchain that way.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's. I remember we were looking at that on your seminar, and it's similar to what Vue does.
Yeah.
Hmm. Cool.
Yeah. And then I think there's in the package, let me just find there's a function within the HTTP package that lets you serve like JavaScript and CSS files automatically.
Hmm.
So you basically just put your JavaScript in like a JavaScript directory, your CS in a CS directory,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll automatically serve those files from the server when it gets requested from the browser. Which as soon as it downloads the HTML, um, it'll automatically kind of deliver that.
And do you have to then put the include code into the HTML, or you're saying that even that is sort of automatic?
You still need to add the include code in the HTML,
Right. Okay.
but it like if you have like 10 files,
Mm-hmm.
it'll request like the file um, xyz.css, and it'll automatically give you the correct file when it requests it. It's
Okay.
like you need to set it up for one directory, and then any file within that directory will be kind of good,
Okay.
basically.
Cool. All right. Well, I gotta go get some food. I'm actually really hungry. Is this a good stopping point? Should we take a break and come back, or do you think this is good for now? We can. What are
Yeah,
what's
that's
your view?
good for now. I don't know if I have too much more time this afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe tomorrow morning I might have a bit of time to code.
Okay.
So if you want me to get like what I was thinking was getting a server ready so that you can start putting in like your interface stuff.
Yeah.
And um, tomorrow and Monday are going to be kind of hit and miss for me, actually.
Okay. Here, I'm
So
just gonna I'm gonna stop the recording real quick in the stream. We can just get to